sitting out here in my garden. If you're new to my channel, my name is Shelby. Welcome. On my channel, I normally share content on gardening videos, homesteading videos, and basically just steps to live a more sustainable and holistic lifestyle. So today I'm just going to give you guys an update on Hurricane Ian and how that was, what the impact was on our house. We were hit with a Category 1 for Hurricane Ian. So it was super windy and we experienced a lot of rain. Most of the areas around me experienced really heavy flooding. I know personally some people whose neighborhoods were like completely flooded to the point where they couldn't even leave their neighborhood or their houses were flooded. So it's been really devastating damage to a lot of people in like the surrounding area where I live, where we, like our particular house wasn't affected by Hurricane Ian. We didn't have any type of damage or anything like that, thankfully. We had like an old wetlands that was dry, and that pretty much acted as like a sponge and kind of absorbed like all the water and everything, and prevented any type of like otherwise flooding. So we consider ourselves really lucky, and our hearts just kind of go out to everybody who was majorly affected. The actual storm itself was really crazy. I have lived in Florida my whole life, so has my husband, so we've both like lived through Hurricane Charlie and all of the other, hurricanes in between. So this one was a little bit different because we have, a child this time around. So I feel like we were a little bit more worried and concerned, what if a tree falls in the house, because we had a lot of trees around the house, and thankfully that didn't happen. So that was like my biggest concern, was like a tree falling or something like that. The actual storm was super windy. When we barely slept at all. I feel like either I was out for 20 minutes and then up, or my husband vice versa, because the majority of like when the actual storm hit us was at night. The deep part of the night, it started really amping up at like 9 p.m. and then by the morning it was pretty much over, but like through the whole night it probably peaked at around like 3 a.m. You could literally hear like the doors being like sucked in and out, and just the howling of the wind. I describe it like as if you're trying to be in like a haunted house type of thing. It just sounded like all kinds of craziness was going on outside, and the trees were just doing some dancing, that's for sure. We feel really lucky. We're safe and everything. Everybody who's checked in, thank you, I appreciate it. And yeah, so that's what happened with Hurricane Ian. I just laid a bunch of worm castings, about 20 pounds of worm castings in my big garden bed to hopefully make it a little bit more nutrient rich, because it's not doing very good. We didn't get like the best soil in bulk because we were trying to save time. Not going to do that again. And everything I've tried to plant in it is just not doing well. So I have started to put like all of my chickens bedding in there, different fertilizers and worm castings. I'm hoping that this corn is going to do a lot better. So I'm going to plant that now. Whew, I just got my corn planted in here. I'm doing 4 rows, and I'm using up like the whole seed packet, so I'm planting too much close together, but I'm gonna thin it out later. In Florida, you can grow corn, I would say, this time of the year, because it's still going to be temperatures in the 80s. So although the temperatures have dropped, it's not too hot or too cold to plant corn. Usually when corn is super ideal to plant in like the summertime, I would say, the bugs are just like gonna have their way with it. So weather-wise, after the hurricane, the temperatures have dropped significantly. Today the high is 79. So I was like, I am getting out here and sowing these seeds, enjoying the day and the outdoors as much as possible, because it literally feels almost no different than indoors. It feels like Florida fall right now, which is awesome, and which is why I am motivated to grow like more of your kind of like leafy greens and things like that. I'm gonna plant some arugula. I love growing arugula, although the thing about arugula for me is it just goes to seed really quickly. So I have to try to like find ways to use it really quickly. I love incorporating it into salads and stuff like that. I'm gonna plant some red Russian kale. I actually recently planted bok choy, the red acre cabbage, and like a lettuce blend in the one of my other beds. So I'll show you guys what that looks like once those seeds have actually started to sprout. But for today, I'm gonna plant this Grand Rapids tip burn lettuce in this bed, and then I have a butternut squash to cook tonight for dinner, and I'm gonna shell the seeds out of that and use those seeds in the garden. That way I don't have to, you know, buy more butternut squash seeds, just trying to, you know, save some money here and there. So if you're new to my channel, you might not know I'm actually 18 weeks pregnant today, which is just a whole new motivation to grow even more stuff like organically. And also, you know, the price of things are crazy. Every time I go to the grocery store, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, there's no way that tomatoes could be this price. I saw 4 corn on the cob was $6. I'm not kidding, like straight up not kidding. We're not gonna be buying corn anytime soon. That's why I'm growing corn, and just things, it's just amazing me. Yeah, it's definitely time to really make sure that we're growing all of our vegetables to help cut down that like grocery budget and everything. So I'm planting just a little bit of kale. This is red Russian kale. I already have, I think it's like, I don't know what kind of, it was supposed to be curly leaf kale and it looks like it's something else. Got my Grand Rapids lettuce. I don't usually have a lot of success with lettuce, but you know, I always give things a try. You never know what season's gonna be your season. So I'm gonna try to plant, you know, as much lettuce as we can, because one of my cravings while pregnant has been salads. So just like a nice crunchy salad with some delicious salad dressing on top and all the crunchy stuff. That's why this pregnancy is a little bit more enjoyable in certain ways. It's also going really fast. And when you're planting lettuce, just make sure that you're kind of like barely covering the seeds, about like a 1/4 inch or so. Make sure you're planting them in a really moisture rich environment. Thin them out later if you want like a pretty head of lettuce, but if not, you don't necessarily need to thin them out. It's really kind of like the aesthetic that you're looking for. Right here I'm just planting like a little line of arugula this way, because like I said before, arugula is like super abundant, and it gets a little out of control if you're not really staying on top of eating it. The thing that usually really surprises me with arugula is how quick the germination is. I feel like it's like 3 days. I'm not gonna lie, like it's crazy how quick arugula will germinate and you'll start to see those sprouts. So if you have little impatient kids and you're trying to start a garden, arugula, you know, radishes, those are definitely things that you're gonna see a really quick, you know, you're gonna see the actual plant. So I would definitely recommend that. So I've sown the seeds that I have time to sow today. I actually need to go out and get some new seeds. I'm like running through them really quickly, and my attempts to germinate like broccoli and cauliflower multiple times when it wasn't time have left me in a place where I don't have any more seeds. So I'm going to plant those as well once I get more seeds. Yeah, if you feel like you don't have enough time to grow anything, that's almost never the case. You know, see when your next frost date is. There's always things like lettuces and certain root vegetables that don't take, you know, 90 days, or they are frost tolerant too. Just start now. Start doing something. Plan now, plan ahead. I will post a garden tour video coming up here pretty soon too. That is all for now. Until next time, bye.